10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Rock and rule. Good band, hot music, the best of times. It could have lasted forever. Rock and rule. Journey to a world where the cosmic forces of music, magic, and technology collide, bringing you head to head with a beast from another dimension. The Beauty, songs by Deborah Harry. The Beast, songs by Lou Reed and Iggy Pop. The Beat, songs by Cheap Trick and Earth, Wind and Fire. Blood everywhere. Rock and rule.
Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good golly, Miss Molly. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the show. Courtney, get on here. I need you. I'm going to be flying solo today unless Courtney joins me. So no panel, no one's turned up. They're all busy. And I think not many people have necessarily seen this movie, even though I shared a copy with them. Can I do that? Too late, I've just incriminated myself. But anyway, you guys are here. So good afternoon to you all. Great to see you all. Welcome to the show. Today, we're going to kind of go back to music, but it's a movie too. Movies about music definitely fit into this channel's remit. We're going to talk about a 1983 Canadian animated feature. Because in Canada, see, I figured that's a good day because in Canada we have an erection going on today. So there's a big erection up here. So a rock music-centered science fiction fantasy taking place in a post-apocalyptic future where humanity has been wiped out by a war. And immediately I love it because I love post-apocalyptic things. And in their place, evolved mutant animals, anthropomorphic, I said it, anthropomorphic dogs, cats, and rats have formed a society that mirrors 20th century human culture, because that's what you'd want to do to a culture that wiped itself out. Especially obsessed with rock music, which is interesting. They did retain the best part. So rock and roll, it's famous for its adult themes, groundbreaking animation, and amazing soundtrack, featuring artists like Debbie Harry, Lou Reed, Cheap Trick, and Iggy Pop. And all those songs actually have a part of the plot. They have something to say in the plot, written very specifically, most of them for the film. So other rock movies just take a soundtrack and kind of add it in. These were integral to the plot, which is really nice. And it is actually a banging soundtrack with some great tunes. We're going to talk about that. It also has Earth, Wind and Fire, which is what happens after I have a really good curry. And a couple of other things on there. So, great movie. One that was suggested by Soul Assassin, I believe, mentioned it to me, although others may have mentioned it. My apologies if you did, as a suitable movie. So here it is. We're doing it now. Already, I'd like to welcome you all here, but I'd like to thank our great friend Tim for a $2.85, which probably translates to, I don't know, 25 cents in a real country. That's right, it's $2.85 Canadian. How about Heavy Metal, the movie, sometime? Well, it's definitely going to be done. Funnily enough, I just picked up a DVD copy of it in my latest thrift store ramblings. Only had a digital copy till now. It's bare bones disc, but so we will be doing Heavy Metal, and we'll be talking about Heavy Metal and this movie because obviously both Canadian. So thank you for that one, Tim. Also, though, Tim, you're a gentleman. Well, I assume you're a gentleman. Every indication you've given is that you are a gentleman. Your name is Tim. But then, what does that mean these days? Another $2. I did see the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame nominees, and as usual, I'm conflicted because amongst the good artists in there, there's a bunch of stuff that should never be near anything called the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And they're like, for instance, it's controversial, I know, but you take a band like Iron Maiden are not in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, but you're getting bands like, let's say, the White Stripes being nominated. Not to suggest that they don't have their merits, but kind of the order of things is out of the way. And there's artists in there that are not rock and roll. They should just as I said years ago, they should rename it the Music Hall of Fame because it's not the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame anymore. However, thank you very much for that $2, Tim. Appreciate it very much. Let's have a little something for you if I can figure out where all these videos are these days. Oh, here's a relevant one. One of my favorite drummers there, the great Bunny Carlos. Of course, Cheap Trick being connected to this movie made it a great topic for discussion. So I see you all in there. Obviously, do those great things that we all do. What I like to do is like the stream, share it out, keep chatting away. If you're a member, and I did donate a few memberships earlier, and there'll be a few more to be donated later in the show, start hitting those emojis and so on. And we should have enough people to do some kind of member stream soon. Maybe next Friday, thinking about that. So maybe even give a few things away to members, that kind of stuff. Get a couple of members on here to be talking, not just me. So I think we may have enough people to, it'll be cozy, but we can do it. We can do it. It'll be great. So yes, well, hello there, and hello over in Rumble. And I can see a couple of people hanging about in Rumble. I got like 8 screens here. I don't know what I'm looking at. And we're on Twitter too, and it seems to be working. On Rumble, we have Eric K and Vince over there. Thanks for dropping the links over there, Vince. And thank you to Davina and D-Bud for doing stuff on the YouTube side. Helps me immensely. Really appreciate that. So hello to all our great friends in the chat. Ooh, Mod Eric K is giving me the opportunity to get some meat in my mouth with a very, very generous donation, $5, Canadian pesos, $5 from Eric K. Maybe name it the Popularity of the People Voting Hall of Fame. Exactly. You get enough of a campaign going to get your favorite jazz twerking artist in, and they get in, even though, yeah. I mean, Iron Maiden are not in there. What are we doing? So thank you for that, Eric. It's your turn to get a thank you video for that. Let's try this.
Let's rock! Let's rock! Let's rock. Let's rock, Duffy. Let's rock and roll. Let's rock!
I must make more of those. It's so difficult. So it takes so long to make those little clips, put them together. Thanks very much, Eric. Appreciate it, mate. Hope to see you sometime soon. But yeah, welcome to Davina, to Tim, to Vince. We had Snorty in the chat earlier. We had scrolling down, scrolling. Davina, we've got Tim, we've got D-Bud, we've got. Well, if I missed anybody, my deepest apologies. My apologies deeply. Courtney's in there somewhere. Hopefully, she will be joining me. While we talk about this wonderful. Oh, we have a Xianhu. You've got to forgive me if I mispronounce that. I'm sorry. Despite all the Chinese, Korean, and Japanese shows I watch, I still mangle the languages of the East. I can barely speak English, never mind anything else. But thank you for being here, but my deepest apologies. So yeah, let's talk a bit of Rock and Rule. Great title, first of all, Rock and Rule. I first saw this movie on VHS back in sometime in the late 80s. I don't remember exactly when. I thought it was pretty neat. I've never seen it in the cinema. It may have received a limited theatrical release somewhere in Britain. I don't know. There was certainly advertising for it. And then I saw it again on television a couple of times over the years. I always thought it was a real bit of an oddity, especially against the sort of more better known cult status of heavy metal. And then it's a very hard movie to get, as Davina was talking about and others were talking about. Comic Relief Crusader. Good to see you, mate. So what are we talking about when we talk about the movie Rock and Roll? It's a 1983. I need to make myself bigger. There we go. 1983. And I realized I might have taken the backdrop off. There you go. It's better. 1983 Canadian animation, released in August 1983, developed by as the first project officially under the Nelvana banner, I believe, of the Canadian Animation Company. And we'll talk a little bit about those now. I'm not an animation expert, and in whether it be how it's done or who does it generally. I'm more a movie guy. So I'll probably mangle a few of the facts, but that's part of the fun of the show, ain't it? So known outside North America, as Davina said, as Ring of Power, which might be a little confusing for some people these days, but and there's a very specific reason for that title in the movie. Moving on. We can see the Marvel Super Special cover here. Marvel Super, I don't collect comics, so if anyone's got that, I think it was edition 25. I'll probably come back to that. Where they did a special edition on it. Here is an advert in the US for it under the title of Ring of Power. Cost of $8 million to make, which was actually $3 million over the planned budget, which is a pretty heavy cost for an animated feature. So quite ambitious. Over 300 animators worked on it. Unfortunately, a disastrous box office of something like $30,000. I think it had zero promotion by MGM, who were the distributors, and then they messed with it too. Excuse me. Here we can see some of the there's the Japanese cover, as it were, for a Japanese physical release. And that one is, I'm assuming, the Mexican or Spanish one. Tim, again, well, yes, you're really doing good to me, mate. Thank you. I really do appreciate it. It does help keep the lights on here, especially as, after today, who knows what going to be, maybe even more in the dumpster, no matter what happens. So here is who's going in the announced yesterday. Bad Company, Chubby Checker, so far so good. Joe Cocker, okay. Cyndi Lauper, fine. Outcast, is it Rock and Roll? Soundgarden and the White Stripes. Now, there are merits to some of those, but when you consider Iron Maiden are not in there. I don't think Jethro Tull are in there. There's quite a few acts that may have been said to be more influential and successful and well regarded as over some of those. So I don't have a problem with this, let's say, Chubby Checker, because they're celebrating the history of rock and roll there. But so thank you for that, Tim. We will see. So we've got to play you another video then. What's it going to be? What's this one? Pete destroying his knees. Back to the images. Quite a nice Orion. And I don't know what Orion had to do with it, but they certainly were advertising it here. It's a pretty neat newspaper poster. Unfortunately, I can't read the copyright at the bottom, but thank you for whoever, PopQuest LLC, from Variety, a nation of Variety advertising. That's pretty neat. I like that. So it was originally so let's look at Nelvana, as much as I know about them from my. So Nelvana, founded in 1971, named after, and this was a complete, I didn't know about this, any comic aficionados out there might know this, named after Nelvana of the Northern Lights, Canadian female comic superhero who debuted in 1941 in Triumph Adventure Comics. Has anybody got any copies of these? I'm sure they're out there. It was not a very long-lived publication, but I don't know if she was necessarily the first female superhero in a comic. I think there may have been earlier ones. I think it's pre-Wonder Woman, though. But Canadian. There's lots of great panels of her stomping on polar bears and stuff. Well, it's Canada. So Nelvana of the Northern Lights. Still around today, Nelvana. I think they're owned by Chorus Entertainment. They've been through a few ups and downs, but generally had an extremely successful time of it over the years. They've done an awful lot of mainly children's animation properties, some of which have been extremely successful. There's been the odd foray into feature length things as well. Founded by two Canadians and a Brit, so Michael Hirsch, Patrick Loubert, and a Brit called Clive A. Smith. Smith, the other two were more like producers. Have acted more as producers and writers at times. Smith is an animator and director, and he directed rock and roll. But before Nelvana, he worked on things like the Beatles animated series and the Yellow Submarine movie. So he gets a little bit of Beatles cachet going on that. Hirsch and Loubert were the producers of the movie, and Loubert was a co-writer on the story. And a guy called John Halfpenny. So the story and screenplay was also co-written by a guy called Peter Sauder, and a guy called John Halfpenny also contributed to the screenplay, although he was an animator. And he isn't credited with any animation in the movie, but he does do the voice of Uncle Mikey. So he had a role to play. So a great name, John Halfpenny. If he was a smaller guy, he'd be called John Farthing. So the three founders of started Nelvana in 1971, and the object of it was to get Canadian animation, which was kind of provincially based and a bit haphazard and shown in Canada and nowhere else, but to get it on a worldwide consumption model instead of just local shows. They had ambitions to make this stuff go worldwide, but produced in Canada. And they made a show called A Cosmic Christmas, which we saw before there in the image. A little 20-minute thing, I think, which impressed a certain George Lucas enough to give them a 10-minute sequence in, maybe they didn't want it after, I don't know. 10-minute sequence, The Faithful Wookiee in the Star Wars Holiday Special. So, fame or infamy, however you want to put that one. Fame or infamy. being in that's actually the sequence that I think most people regard the highest. It had the correct voice actors. It also introduced Boba Fett before seen in other things. So pretty good. I mean, and that's a good representation, I would believe. Let's say, again, not an animated guy, but so despite the failure, though, so they had that history was good for them because it got them into certain things. Opened a lot of doors internationally, and despite the failure of Rock and Roll, the studio went on to a lot of success in children's TV. Now, if you look them up online in IMDb or whatever, you'll see an enormous list of shows, but things like Inspector Gadget, Care Bears, Star Wars Ewoks and Droids, Beetlejuice, Spectre Tintin, just there's a whole list of properties that they produced, and many of these were worldwide hits in children's television particularly. So they did do pretty well in the end. Something they did work on, according to the interwebs. Maybe they did, maybe they didn't. They did. Apparently they did. If I can get my damn mouse to play, is they did the singing horses section of the campfire song in The Three Amigos. So they were involved in that sequence, which is just great. I just love it. Hey, Canadian Spider-Man, good to see you, buddy. So back to Rock and Rule. So they'd had this Star Wars stuff that they'd done, and they'd done a few short animations like Cosmic Christmas. They originally pitched Rock and Rule as a children's animation based on their own 1978 25-minute TV special, The Devil and Daniel Mouse, which, as you can see, had songs by John Sebastian on it, of The Lovin' Spoonful, obviously. Great artist. So they wanted to take that, flesh it out a bit more, and, the characters were going to be more animalistic. They eventually morphed into something a bit more anthropomorphic and recognizable as kind of human crosses. Hey, early genetic engineering, I guess. They gradually became more humanistic. The movie shifted from being more of a children's animation to adult, possibly inspired a lot by fellow Canadian production Heavy Metal. Now, I have to say, Heavy Metal is far more adult than Rock and Roll. Rock and Roll is adult, but it doesn't have it doesn't go nearly as far as Heavy Metal with some of the stuff in it, but it still inspired Rock and Roll to a certain extent. I don't believe there's other than one or two voice actors, there may be animator crossover, but there's no crossover in terms of production between the two very different studios in Canada producing it. But there was, it's a small world, and these guys must have seen what was happening with Heavy Metal and went, well, we could probably push our movie a little bit more that way, and I'm glad they did. So you can see they became much more humanistic-looking characters with less animal animation. And the premise, though, remained the same, which is more of a kind of a post-apocalyptic rock band composed of mutant creatures who evolve from rats or cats or dogs, whatever, in a world where the human race was wiped out and only the street animals survived. Praised at the time for very high animation quality. And it does have a lot of really, I mean, as I say, I'm not an expert in animation, but I think it looks really good. A lot of great effects, some early computer stuff, not a great deal, but some, and then computer-controlled multi-plane camera work. But if you look at some of the effect scenes in this, like the mock, first introduction to mock, it's with the lighting effects and the demon transformation stuff, the airship, there's some fantastic stuff going on here. We'll see some of those images as we go. The there are two versions. There is what I call the Canadian version, the original Canadian version, and then there's the MGM American theatrical version. So the Canadian one, they switched out the voice actor from the Canadian one for a different voice actor. They removed some of the swearing, made other little cuts and changes. And that version was the one that was released on VHS, Betamax, Laserdisc. All of which those original media are very hard to get now. The original Canadian version still existed at that time, and it was shown on Canadian television with the original Omar voice actor. And a lot of people recorded it on VHS, so you can get copies of that VHS recording. There is no master print for that version anymore, I believe. I may be wrong. So those are the two versions that are floating around out there. You can get bootlegs. There were some official, semi-official Blu-rays and DVDs, probably a little bit on the bootleg side. Nelvana themselves were showing it on YouTube until Amazon took over MGM. So Unearthed Films released both versions on DVD. But the Canadian cut from that point on was always a VHS quality. Then they released them on Blu-ray. But all that's discontinued now, out of print. So, and Amazon now owns it because of the MGM purchase. So I actually have no problem with the theatrical version. There are some minor changes. The voice actor they swapped in, we'll talk about in a little while. He's pretty good, so probably unfair to the original one, but hey, there it goes. That's what distributors do. So we're not going to go through. We'll be showing some clips and showing some stills. We're not going to go through every character and the voice actors, just some of the main ones, just to introduce them. So we start with Mock Swagger. I just love the name, Mock Swagger. It just rocks. Mock is, hey, Shan Yu donated. Hang on a sec. I got to get to my chat page. I'm a one-man band today. I'm a one-man band nobody knows or understands. $7.42 Canadian. Thank you very much for that super chat. So rock and roll must have had no real advertising. I first discovered it in a video store in the late 80s. Same here. I even vaguely heard about it in music papers earlier in the 80s, but didn't see it. And I was surprised I hadn't heard of it before. And that's I'd forgotten about it. Other than occasionally thinking about it when I listen to some Cheap Trick and think, oh, wasn't that from that movie? Forgot all about it. So never got promotion. Virtually no promotion. Died of death at the time. But I think it's become very well regarded since a number of people keep talking about it. And when you watch it now, and I've watched it 3 times this week, it's really good. It's a really good movie. Great story. Fantastic voice acting. The animation's brilliant, and the songs fit perfectly in the story, and they're all good songs. There's no filler. So anyway, thank you for that super chat. Let me find another uplifting video clip to play. Let's go for this one.
Hey, ho, let's go. Hey, ho, let's go. Hey, ho, let's go.
They could have fitted in this movie great, the Ramones. Probably would have bust their budget even more. Yeah, so where are we? Yes, Mock Swagger, legendary super rocker, all-round demonic bad guy who wants to destroy the world because he's not hip anymore. That's basically what it boils down to. He's searching for the perfect voice whose frequencies can unleash a powerful demon to, in conjunction with the Armageddon key, as in Armageddon out of here. And he's he's clearly obviously based on, first of all, Mick Jagger. There's no doubt about that. But there are elements of David Bowie and Alice Cooper in there, according to the people that made the movie. So he was voiced by Don Franks. And this is a great picture of Don Franks, actor and a musician who also used the stage name Iron Buffalo, which I think is an awesome stage name as a musician. Long and varied career, did the voicing of Boba Fett on Star Wars droids, did a lot of Nelvana products, as they tend to see in the animation world. Voice actors do multiple projects for the same people. Did the voices on Inspector Gadget with Sabretooth on X-Men. Did a lot of live action too, though. Mission Impossible, Man from U.N.C.L.E., lots more. And he also did a voice on something I've never watched. If anyone has seen it, I want to know what you thought of it. He voiced Skunk in Gene Simmons' animation TV show, My Dad the Rockstar. So if anyone's ever seen that, tell us now in the chat. I'd love to know. I would be very, very. Oops, I just tried to super chat myself. That was the wrong move. Can you do that? I'm not sure you can do that these days. I was going to donate. I donated a few memberships earlier, and I was going to donate some more, and for some bloody reason, it won't let me. Hang on. Oh, there we go. Membership gifting. I'm now donating 5 more memberships. So, hey, B-roll. So there we go. I should play myself a video. So I've gifted 5 memberships on top of the ones before. And I'm going to blackmail you all to renew them when the gifted ones end up. But this means we can do some member streams. So good luck to you if you got those, and just start using some of those emojis. Voiced though, the songs for Mock were voiced by 2 people. Lou Reed did My Name is Mock and Triumph, and Iggy Pop did Pain and Suffering. All 3 excellent songs, which we'll play tiny clips of later. So we have a few new members, which is great. Hey, we got Courtney, Dave Bob, Big Dave K, Purple Valkyrie, and hopefully Davina there got one. Did Davina get one? Canadian Spider-Man. Davina's probably the only one that didn't get one. We'll have to figure that one out later then. I've not seen My Dad the Rockstar, so it doesn't look like anybody has, so it couldn't have been that good. Moving on though, so the songs, Lou Reed did 2 of them, and Iggy did another. It's kind of interesting that 2 different artists doing the song voice for now, next most important, or another of the very important characters, is Angel, here in a rather enticing outfit. She's a singer in a small rock band in Ohmtown, and unfortunately for her, she has the voice that Mock needs to unlock the Armageddon key. So, bit of a shame. It's her own fault for having a good voice. She is voiced by Susan Roman, mainly a voice acting career, many of those being Nelvana shows, but not necessarily always. But she did voice a character in Heavy Metal. She voiced the girl in the Harry Canyon section who betrays Harry in the end. So there is one definitive Heavy Metal crossover. She obviously gets drawn well no matter what she's in. And for those who are into this kind of thing, and I know people are, she was also the long-running voice of Lita, Sailor Jupiter, in the Canadian dub of Sailor Moon in the DIC Cloverway era. As I say, I'm reciting that because I've never watched it, but I know a lot of people love it. So she had a pretty good career in that respect. Now, her voice is by Debbie Harry, so kind of a perfect fit if you think about it. She really is. Debbie Harry does it, and again, great songs, a couple of great songs, beautifully sung, that really fit the story, which is just fantastic. Also, we have Omar, Angel's guitarist, kind of all-round He's a bit of an asshole through a lot of this movie. Until he gets his act together. He's really quite an asshole, especially towards her. He doesn't want her songs being sung. Terrible. Courtney could probably come on here and tell us about guys in rock bands that don't want the girls to get their song on stage. Mainly, well, he was originally voiced in the Canadian original version by Greg Salata. He appeared in quite well-known movies: Weekend at Bernie's, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, The Devil's Own. However, MGM, for whatever reason, were not happy with his performance, so they recast it and redubbed it for the theatrical distribution in America, particularly with Paul Le Mat, who was probably the slightly better-known actor. He'd had parts in American Graffiti, and he'd won a Golden Globe for a TV show called The Burning Bed. I do recall seeing him in the series Lonesome Dove. This is the series following the miniseries, which was filmed not far from where I live here in Alberta. A lot of that stuff's filmed here. So yeah, not a bad career. I mean, they do okay. They used that opportunity, of course, to then make a number of other cuts and changes. Nothing majorly. There was a few bits and pieces. They did remove some swearing, etc. So slightly different prologue in the opening. You can see both versions if you happen to find them in the right place. His voice was Robin Zander of Cheap Trick, which I think, again, is a pretty good. If you're going to do something in 83, get Debbie Harry and Robin Zander. And, of course, the duet at the end, maybe the only Robin Zander, Debbie Harry, or Cheap Trick Blondie duet going on. But it was pretty good. So I was very pleased to see those guys together. So all the other characters, we'll talk about them as we go through the stills. But one that's worth pointing out, and probably the only one that a lot of people had even heard of, was Catherine O'Hara, who voiced Aunt Edith, the tattoo parlor lady. Obviously, Catherine O'Hara, we have talked about her on here before. We did SCTV and Occult Comedy Crew, Beetlejuice, Home Alone, many, many, many other things, right up to this current day. Schitt's Creek, and I think she's in the Last of Us show. Not that I'm watching it, but she's in that as well. So she's still pretty long and successful career. Probably the best known voice in this. So there you have that. That was. There's lots of other characters, and we'll go through some of those as we're watching the stills. We should probably, though, briefly talk about the soundtrack itself. So as somebody was saying, I think, Davine, in the chat, that it took a long time to get any kind of official release on this. And I still think the actual incidental and additional music is not easy to get a hold of. There was no official soundtrack album at the time. Some tracks were never officially released. Not till many years later, and maybe as part of an artist's deluxe edition or something. Or I know Debbie Harry reworked Angel's Song into a different name and so on. I had the 3 Cheap Trick tracks, though, and they were 3 brilliant tracks, and you can get them on things like this. I'm going to plug this box set because I'm a huge Cheap Trick fan. I'm going to make it bigger. So this is a 1996, at that time, definitive collection for Cheap Trick called Sex America Cheap Trick. 4 discs, ton of alternate versions. It's got the hits on it too, live versions, B-sides and rarities, and it had the 3 tracks on it from Rock and Roll. So, because you didn't really hear them anywhere else. So, and at least 2 of them, Born to Raise Hell and I'm the Man, are absolute killer tracks. So this is a brilliant set. If you ever see it anywhere, I've even got my Cheap Trick postcard things in it. I've got lots of Cheap Trick stuff. I was in the fan club. Can you believe that? So get this Sex America Cheap Trick set. It rocks. Commercial time over. There was no sponsorship for that. No, Cheap Trick have never given me anything other than some autographs and a picture and a photo opportunity. They give me a lot of music. So yeah, some of the songs were really hard to get, but you had Cheap Trick, Iggy Pop, Lou Reed, Debbie Harry, Melanie Brown was on it, who was one of the voice actresses in the show as well. She had a couple of songs on there. She was Clive Smith, the animator's wife. She voices one of the groupies in the movie. She's a singer, songwriter, producer. She actually has a record label and does electronic dance music now, and she's relatively successful in that field. I'd never heard any of the stuff, but apparently she does quite well. But the rest of the soundtrack featured a lot of electronic material by somebody called Patricia Cullen, who tragically died in 1991. And it's really good stuff, I find. Very Blade Runner in places. Adds a lot of atmosphere to a lot of the scenes, non-dialogue, non-song scenes. So it was really nice. I'm not sure you can get that on an album. You can get these songs. So, yeah, maybe for sure was the retitled Angel song by Debbie Harry. So very short compared to the number of songs in heavy metal, but because they were a part of the plot, I think it works extremely well. The beauty, the beast, and the beat. And just before we move on, there was some of the pages from the Marvel Super Special, number 25, I think. The Music of Rock and Roll. So there is some stuff in there by the artist about writing the songs and obviously specifically doing it for the movie and how that worked and the recording of it and so on. And Lou Reed has given some interviews over the years and mentioned the writing of his songs and whatever. So, cold coffee. All right, so let's oid that on the stream. We're going to start showing some stills and just chit chat as we go. And I've got a few clips. Hopefully, I won't be copyright blocked for them. Couldn't play the whole songs, unfortunately, but did get away with the trailers though, which was nice. I enjoyed that. So being able to use the actual trailer. There's a Canadian TV trailer for it too, which I've actually had on the holding page for the Rumble stream. So hopefully we've captured some of the great stills from this movie as we go through. And quite rightly, they're making a big deal out of the music artists. It's just a nice little slice of early 80s artists, I find. Earth, Wind and Fire seemed like a weird one, but because they're in the club 666, Club 54, and you would hear dance music in there, you wouldn't necessarily hear rock. So it made great sense. And they were a huge band at the time. So I do have a clip of this opening exposition. So let's take a look at that.
The war was over. The only survivors were street animals, dogs, cats, and rats. From them, a new race of mutants evolved. That was a long time ago. Mock, a legendary super rocker, has retired to Ohmtown. There, his computers work at deciphering an ancient code which would unlock a doorway between this world and another dimension. Obsessed with his dark experiment, Mock himself searches for the last crucial component. A very special voice.
So even that gives you, as well as the blurb, gives you a very good look at some of the animated special effects and that great synth soundtrack that Patricia Cullen was doing. So B-roll does have the Marvel special. Hard one to get by the sounds of it. I mean, I've never ever seen a copy of it anywhere. I'm sure there are a few out there, but great. Good for you, mate. I'm glad you got that. Onwards, anyway. The movie is opening, and I do like the fact that they've laid it out there, so there's a little bit less confusion about what's happening. Mock. Mock is such an interesting character. My name is Mark. Thanks a lot. He is the obviously major rock star in Hometown and in this world, which is North America. It's meant to be America, I believe. He's got New York. But his record sales are dropping and he's falling out of favor, and he relies on a lot of trickery, as you see. He's looking for something at the start of the movie. He's hunting for something, and he's been going to shows all over the place looking for it. And his staff are kind of like, oh, God, you know. But wait, one more show to visit, and it's in Hometown. He's an Hometown boy. So he's going to Hometown to see this show. But as he's going there, which I find interesting, he's going there, you see he has a lot of this computer technology. And he's got this computer. It's interesting. He's got an advanced computer, AI, working on a project for him. And the project is trying to decode this Armageddon key, because he's up to something nefarious to get revenge on everyone for not buying his records anymore. I think it just really comes down to that. He's an arrogant guy, and he just wants to get revenge. And I love the eye shadow. You don't see Mock for quite a while, which I like. So it's talent night in Hometown. And that's when we're introduced to Omar, who's warming up, tuning up, practicing. Omar and Angel. Oh, yeah, because Mock, Mock didn't have the clip there. Sorry, I didn't have the image, but you had the ring of power. Literally, the AI calls it, I made you this ring of power. When it glows, you'll know you've found the right voice. So there's where the ring of power came from. I just find it interesting they used ring of power when you consider the Tolkien-esque aspect of that you could say it was taken from that. I don't know. It was only used as that title in certain places. Say, Mock is an old rocker hanging on. Where have we heard this before? Yeah, exactly. So we're in Mylar's club in Hometown. Talent showcase he seems to be running, which is probably suits Mock. He can see more than one band. Omar is a real pain in the tits because you get one song and it's going to be his. Angel wants to do a song too, and he's like, oh, yeah, whatever. So at this point, Omar's pretty self-centered. Not treating his co-partner in the band. And there's the other two band members, Stretch and Dizzy, getting into their computer games. Now, whatever it was that caused the destruction of the human race, it didn't seem to destroy a lot of the technology. So it's quite a neat representation of some kind of virtual reality game. I love the eyes. Omar, I'm guessing, is meant to be a dog originally. Now, I think there was an original title for the movie was Drats. They were going to call it Drats. And you actually see Drats written up on the graffiti in the walls occasionally, as well as the initials of animators. So there's a lot of little Easter eggs in this, which I made a note of some of them. But yeah, you can see Drats written occasionally here and there. So they're about to go on stage for the the previous act. I do wish I knew the name of that act that gets ushered off for not doing too well. So we need names for that act. Who are they? What's the name of that band? I've been trying to figure that would be the Ram Moans. We don't want Ram Moans, do we? I don't know what the name of that act would be. The Clone Army. Anyway, keep thinking of them. So they get ushered off, and it's a turn for you. I don't think you ever get the name of Omar and Angel's band. I don't recall it. This is where they kick in with the first real song of the movie, and boy, oh boy, is it a good one. You got to go listen to it on YouTube or wherever. Born to Raise Hell, one of my favorite Cheap Trick songs of all time. We have the tiniest snippet of it for copyright reasons. One of the most kick-ass Cheap Trick songs. A song I wish they played live more. They don't really play that one live. Well, I missed this clip, sorry.
Most recent calculations show you will still need a living voice. The vibrations of this voice will create the doorway through which the being will enter this dimension. The ring I designed will identify the exact voice frequency you require.
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, missed that clip earlier, but it's the exposition clip with the computer saying, this is what you're trying to do, so everyone knows. Hello over there on Rumble. I can see Dude Bro self set. Without my glasses. Dude Bro Seth. I can never remember if that's Seth or Seth. Sorry, Dude Bro. Dude Bro Seth 420. They still haven't incorporated Rumble chat into Talk Studio, no matter how many times I asked them. Low Spec Linux is over there. B-roll stage is over there. So we got a few people congregating and coagulating over on Rumble. It's weird. I set up my own emojis over there, and it doesn't seem to show them. So I'm gonna have to figure that one out. How to get them to work. So good. Hello to you guys over there, though. Really appreciate you being there, keeping the Rumble side alive. If this side gets copyright blocked, then that side will still be up at some point. So anyway, Born to Raise Hell is, and for some reason Mylar doesn't like it, which proves he's an absolute idiot and doesn't know what he's talking about. There we go. Get that running again. So basically he's going to pull them. He's going to pull the plug, but this is Angel's opportunity to take the spotlight with her song. And she's got a nice set of wool. Maybe she was a sheep. What? So yeah, I don't know why Mylar doesn't like them, but pulls the plug, closes the curtain on them. Omar's just not a happy camper. So I want to know what everybody thinks as we're going through this about the animation. I mean, to me, it's kind of I don't know. I mean, as I say, I'm not a big comics guy, but it's kind of like 70s and 80s comics, underground comics, bit European in style. Would I be right in saying? I think it looks great, but that's just me. I'm not an expert in animation. So Angel gets her chance to sing, and she's singing Angel's song, which we'll hear 2 or 3 times in the movie, particularly as it changes into the big number at the end. Omar's pissed off, so he storms out. Goes off in the huff. Mock, though, is listening. And he had arrived at the club and he hears Angel singing, and the ring starts to glow. Apparently, Mock was the first person to have a record go gold, platinum, and plutonium in one day. Pretty impressive. So he's waiting for his ring to glow at this moment. Rock and Roll is Here to Slay. I think that might have been one of Mock's albums or songs. Rock and Roll is Here to Slay. Love that one. Anyway, his ring of power glows, so he knows that Angel is the one. Which is bad news for her. Now, Angel does go looking for, I mean, she just caters to this guy. She's catering to this guy. Let's play a little bit of her sing. Yeah, that was just a little tiny clip of Angel's song. These are very hard to play clips of. It's funny because certain aspects of the movie are not flagged when you play them, and other bits are, and it isn't even to do with the music sometimes. So it's an interesting setup. But I would have thought Amazon MGM might have been harder on it. I know Nelvana themselves have. I tried a few different clips. Some of them got blocked, some didn't. So I'm giving it my best shot with those. Anyway, Angel goes to cater to Omar's hurt feelings. And we see a little bit more of Hometown as they're going through it here. Mock, yeah, don't know what's going on in some of these corners. Mock is watching Omar and Angel as their rock and roll is here to slay is what that comes up there, which I think is a great motto. Rock and roll is here to slay. Voltage wagon. I do love the backgrounds. It's an interesting look in the city. It looks like Pueblo style stuff. I love the statue. It's Hometown. They've got the power statue holding the lightning. So she starts to try to make it up with Omar, and they do get a bit. Omar, not being a complete idiot, just a bit of an idiot, does start to get a little bit closer. They get a little bit huggy and kissy. Very sweet. But Mock is watching. It did go through copyright hell. This film has been all over the place. But with Amazon MGM there, I would love to see them do it justice with a major physical release. Who knows? With as many extras as they can get their hands on. Because there are interviews out there. So this is Thunder Row, and where the smooching goes on, there's always a place like that in town where there used to be. What is funny is that they're in the back of a wrecked, rusted out vehicle. So not the most salubrious of vehicles. Mock sends his henchman, one of his henchmen, to deliver an invitation to visit him at his mansion, which is what we can see in the distance, I'm assuming. No doing nothing on the bridge. I like that. What would you be doing? Now, what I like about these shots from above of Hometown is it really looks like an etched circuit board or component of some kind, because it's Hometown. So I wondered, I mean, I don't know, was that deliberately designed that way from a friend Tim, once again, keeping me in stuff, keeping me in food for tonight, keeping me in tranquilizers when I'm watching Dallas Stars games. I'll need one tonight probably. So Tim says, so hologramic. Oh, my TV C15. Bit of Bowie there. Bit David Bowie. Great track, TVC15. Lovely. Wish I had some Bowie to play in response to that. I don't. Sorry. I get no Bowie. On the clips, on the video clips. So you'll have to get something else, though. Well, Courtney's not here, but we'll play a bit of Courtney. Courtney, we love you. Hopefully you will be able to join me later and give people a change from my voice. But thank you very much for that, Tim. And Tim has also done a super sticker, I think, for $1. Aruni. Tim, you are the man. I think it's a super sticker. There's no words. Neither is there a sticker, but thank you. Totally appreciate that, mate. Honestly, you're a great supporter of the channel. Great friend of the channel. Love it very much. Love you, brother. That means you gotta get something else. So you're gonna keep making me play video clips until I run out. And I will run out in this profile. Let's play the old standard classic I think we've played the most of ever. Can't get better than that. Thank you, Bill McClintock. So, Quantum Ministries, good to see you, mate. This movie kicks ass. Totally worth the watch. It does. My reintroduction to it and watching it a lot this week has really reinforced to me how good it is and how great a rock movie it is. Not just a great animation. Over on the Rumble side, you've got Dubro saying, I love this art style. So yeah, what do you think? So the James. So I don't know what the James Brown song is in that one. I think it's "Get Up, Feel Like Being a Sex Machine." I might be wrong though. Get up, get on up. No, maybe not. I know Bill McClintock uses a number of them. So obviously it's "Electric Eye" by Priest, but I'm trying to remember what the James Brown song was. Let's Shake Your Money Maker. I don't know. It's so long since I clipped it. Sex Machine. That's it. Yeah, I thought it was Sex Machine. Sex Machine mixed with Electric Eye. Just perfect. It does kick ass. It's a really, really good movie. I did indeed vote for, because no matter what happens in Canada, we will all be rammed in the end. Sheep could be the official animal of Canada. I don't care. I'm declaring independence and it will be the official animal of Bryanistan. Somebody made a good point, and I may have missed it, about the hometown in Detroit being the equivalent. Forgive me, I did see it earlier. Oh, here we go, it's Davina. Perhaps hometown was a play against Detroit's Motor City. It's very possible. Voltage Wagon is the car the band uses, so it's. There are some geographical things going on, which we'll see later in the movie, though. The geography is a bit strange of North America in this version of it, but the animation style is pretty damn good, I think, and not that I know much about that kind of thing. So they're heading up to Mox. So the characters are designed. I mean, I looked into some articles about it. So this is me just reciting. It's not my opinion. So it's a lot of exaggerated angular designs, larger than life features, which seems to be a theme of 70s and late 70s, early 80s movies, although this may have been ahead of some of that. Exaggerated facial expressions in some of the more side characters that do a lot of the crazy stuff. And I am very pleased to say our dear friend Courtney has joined us.
Your dear friend I is what it looks like
Dear
until I
friend
get my
I.
laptop set up.
I.
I can't figure out how to get a video on my camera on this thing, but hello, everybody.
Hey, it's good to see you, lass. How are you?
It's good to see you, too. It's been a while.
It
I've been
has.
okay.
Good. I'm so
I'm
glad
hot.
you're here. Well, you are hot. We know you're hot.
Well,
There's
it's
no
a
need to
good thing you
boast.
guys can't see me. I'm like sweating because I was racing.
There's no need to boast. We know you're hot.
Oh, well, thank you. So I've never seen this. I've never even heard of it. And I've heard you saying these musicians, and I'm like, what? What?
You've never seen this movie?
Never, ever.
I must admit, I hadn't seen it for a long time. And it's great because the soundtracks, it's a fairly short one compared to, say, heavy metal, but each song is part of the plot. So Lou Reed, Iggy Pop, Debbie Harry, Robin Zander, and Cheap Trick, all the songs fit
all my favorites.
Yeah. You get a Debbie Robin Zander duet.
No way.
Yeah. So
I'm
these
pay
are
attention.
You should. So I mean, it's got some of my favorite songs in it, like the Cheap Trick's "Born to Raise Hell" and "I'm the Man" are two of their greatest ever tracks, and you couldn't get them other than on like compilations of rarities. You know, they weren't released at the time. So the Lou Reed stuff was written specially for this too, as was the Iggy Pop and the Debbie Harry stuff. It's all great tracks. So I figured you might like it.
Very cool.
Even everyone knows heavy metal well, but they don't know this one as well. And
you know, I haven't seen heavy metal since I can't even tell you college. many years ago.
So 5 years ago, then.
Yeah, 5 years ago. Sure. My birthday's in 2 weeks. It's a touchy subject.
I know it's tough to turn 30, but you have to do it sometime.
Yeah. I'll be 27 this year.
27. That's what it is.
Famous rock star age.
Indeed. So we're at the point where the band are visiting Mock Swagger's mansion, the bad guy, and this is his henchmen, the Schlepper brothers, which I think is a great name, a trio of roller skating brothers, Toad, Sleazy, and Zip Schlepper, and they're his henchmen, kind of. Be nice or be dog food, as one of them says to Omar. Omar's been a real dick to them, but but this is where we get a really great entrance. I mean, I love this animation. You see the size of his place, and there's Mock's hand. And you get the scale of this super mansion that he lives in.
He's trying to steal my hair color.
Yeah. But then,
I wish it looked like that.
Well, me too. Wish mine looked like that. So this is where Mock makes this fabulous entrance, all lit up and electric. He's full of tricks, like magic tricks. He actually talks about that magic. He uses it in his show, and he's got a control room full of people turning levers. His show his shtick is all kind of fake in a sense, not authentic. So. I'm just looking at the video clips. Did I have that one? I tried to clip that turning into Mock from the electric aspect, and it kept getting blocked, so I can't show that on screen. But he's here to charm Angel because he needs her. He needs her voice. Just for you, Courtney, if you didn't, he needs her voice to unleash Armageddon because he's a bit pissed off. His record sales are not as good as they used to be, so he wants to destroy.
That's pretty funny.
He wants to destroy the world because he's not as popular as he used to be. So is he Bono? I don't know. Could be Bono. I like there's a nod at this point. Mes assistants stupides, he says about his assistants. A little nod to the French Canadians in the team because it is a Canadian animation. Mes assistants stupides.
You have a very good French accent.
Well, merci beaucoup. Merci
Je vous en prie.
Je ne sais pas. Je
I don't remember a lot either.
Je t'aime moi non plus. La plume de ma tante. Davina says she did a PhD thesis on rock and roll. Well, you should because it's a seminal movie.
Cool.
Mock has everything he wants except immortality. It's an interesting way of looking at it. But he makes this electric entrance, then he kisses Mock kisses Angel's hand, and I like Omar's line here is, you better get some antiseptic on that before it festers. Omar's our guitarist, he's not too happy with Mock. Doesn't like Mock. He's not real, man.
I love Mock Jagger. That's amazing. I thought you were saying Mark the
It's
whole time when I was listening.
M-O-K, Mock Swagger.
Mock
Mock Swagger.
That's what I meant.
It's just so good. Now, this is the point where Mock wants to get the rest of the band out of the way so he can smooch Angel. So he calls for the Edison balls. He gets his henchmen to bring the Edison balls. So, in the words of Shorzy, give your Edison balls a tug. But anyway, it's some kind of, it's supposed to send, it's a bit psychedelic, man. One of the bands is Dizzy, I think, says, I've had mine already today. I've already had one today. But this is a thing that they then hold that just kind of hypnotizes them. So they get really zoned out on holding these balls. That's what happens. Is that what happens when you hold balls? I don't know.
It can be very relaxing.
Very relaxing. If you're giving your balls a tug. So he takes her outside to another part of his mansion to lay on her. He wants to promote her. He wants to get her to do things with him. He shows he's got the guys up in the control room, making them appear and disappear in different places and all sorts of effects happening. And he wants to sweep her off and make her part of his world because he needs her voice to unleash the demon. See, the right female voice can make the demon rise, apparently. So, anyway, and he sends this. He's got this device that she opens, which Courtney's gone, which is a bit of an interesting device, but that kind of just freaks her. That sends her into this kind of matrixy looking world. I just love this animation. It's so good. This stuff, the effects with the lighting in this animation are stupendous. As I say, not that I know anything about it. It's very detailed backgrounds. You got a lot of surreal stuff. I mean, the urban stuff is great, but then you have stuff like this. It's so atmospheric, dystopian, very fluid. People out there, you guys know a lot more about animation than me. So meanwhile, Dizzy had tried to escape, but they capture him. The other two guys are still hypnotized. And this is where Mock gets his first song, although it's not him live. It's recorded. So what these guys are seeing with this hypnotizing with the video balls is they're basically seeing a projection. It's like, I think when I watched this, I think it's kind of a commentary at the time on MTV, hypnotizing everyone to watch, keep watching songs. That was just the feeling I got. So I've got a tiny clip of that. This is the first appearance of Lou Reed in the movie. So it's the song Triumph, and Omar and Stretch, I think it is, are just absolutely hypnotized by this Edison ball showing them this stuff. Because meanwhile, Mock has said to Angel, I didn't offer you. She says, what are you offering me? Or worse than that, I didn't offer you anything. I offer you everything. Which is another great line. There's a lot of great lines in this. Then Angel's knocked out and taken somewhere, which we're about to see, while the guys are going to get shunted out of the place. But I do think that hypnotized watching the music video is a commentary on MTV, I think. Video balls, yes. I've got my own video balls. Yeah, some neat effects. I don't know. I mean, I'm struggling to recall other animation at the time. We'd seen Heavy Metal, which definitely had various animation styles, which were very good, all done by different studios. This stuff looks fantastic too, though. These lighting effects. Mock has got, you'll see it all through the movie, Mock has a sigil. He has his own icon or sigil. Sorry, it's a sigil, and you see it all over the place. He's representing himself. It's quite an interesting way he does it. So here he is off to his seat in what is about to become a fairly spectacular sequence where it's basically like a huge airship comes out of the mansion. So he can go everywhere. I just love this sequence. I've got a tiny little clip of it, but meanwhile, the Schleppers are making sure the boys are taken out. The trash is taken out, dumped in the voltage wagon, and got rid of. It's interesting they didn't kill them. Nobody's getting killed by Mock yet. Basically, he wants to destroy the entire world, but he's not. He could have disposed of these guys. He didn't really, although kind of makes an attempt, because what they do is stick him in there and then it rolls down into the town, downhill. But this is the airship sequence, which is really good. So I've got a very short video clip of this. I don't know. I think that looks pretty good. Slit scan animation. Okay. See, I really don't know all that stuff. So, there we go. Let me check in on you guys in the chat. I'm still looking at you guys on Rumble over here. Viking Nav over there, playing with these video balls. Love Death Robots. I watched all those. Yeah. Some interesting stuff. That Love Death Robots was pretty good on Netflix. So there we go. This is interesting. When you look at the transformation of Metatron into Galvatron, similar technique and look, all done by hand. Yeah, and I was trying to see what were the things that influenced this movie animation-wise, and what did it influence following it, and what things were similar. Because this is a less well-known movie, but maybe other better-known things leaned on it, Lord Thoth is here. Hoser. Good to see you, buddy.
Oh, it's going pretty good. Good day, eh?
Good day.
Megatron. Yes, I misspoke. That's what happens when you read things instead of thinking about it. I read the chat instead of thinking about it. Made it look like an accident. They did. They shoved the car down. You see it going all the way into the town, scaring a couple of people, eventually crashes in the fountain. And this is where the cop, turns out Quadhead or whatever his name is, he makes a couple of jokes here about, well, they're going to get arrested. It's, they committed a bathing felony. And then another one was wearing bathing without a bathing suit or something. So he's got a couple of made up, a little bit of commentary on the police state here. A couple of made up charges. He's going to arrest them, but luckily for them, he's pretty dumb. So they distract him and steal his car. The crash of the car woke Homer and Stretch up from their Edison ball days. They were no longer holding the balls. So this is a really nice sequence. I absolutely love this sequence. It's the road trip to New York, which is where they know that Mock is taking Angel to have a big show, put on a big show. So it's a road trip from Ohmtown to New York, and some really neat stuff in here. But it does give me pause for thought, because they're actually, you see things that look like Monument Valley and that big long road that comes out of Monument Valley, which I've been on. Definitely that's what it is. And then what seems like 10 minutes later, they're in New York, which is, if it's New York, well, Monument Valley and New York are pretty far apart. So that you don't get the sense of the scale in this, although they do there is a couple of neat tricks, like the car getting propelled by a light beam over a canyon or whatever. So, but I do have a little bit of this, because the soundtrack to this sequence was another Cheap Trick song called "I'm the Man," another excellent song by them. So let's play a little bit of that. Definitely one of the best sequences in the movie for me, hands down, with an absolutely killer track. And I love the getting shot across the canyon with this big light beam. And it said, I think there was a sign there that said Plastic Valley Road Authority, as opposed to Monument Valley or Death Valley or any other Plastic Valley, which I thought was quite neat. There's a lot of these little things in there, Easter egg wise, and little details, lots of little details. Classy sequence. I'd love to see a whole movie like that. An animated road trip with different songs accompanying it. That would be awesome. Lovely stuff. Yeah, this it gives you, and there, this in the background, that kind of a War of the World style tripod, but with communications gear in it. It gives you a little glimpse of technology. The same with the light beam thing. Like, how far ahead was the technology of the human race before they wiped themselves out? They didn't wipe the animals out, they wiped themselves out. So anyway, they're at New York and they crash the barricade. Hold on to your privates, generals, as Omar says. This guard does a great John Wayne impression in the movie. It's a pretty good John Wayne. But so they get nabbed for breaking into New York. And this is where you get all of it. It's like Escape from New York. A lot of great dystopian scenes here, I find. You know, it's a lot of perspective shots as well. Nice stuff. Very grimy at this point. There's Radio City Music Hall. And Mock has a large building here of his own where he can attach his airship, and I guess this is his home base in New York anyway. So he gets Angel and basically shuts her in a room here while he's figuring out how he's going to get the show going. She's confined. This is where she meets the sister of the Schlepper brothers, Cinderella. And she does make a gag later when they're sneaking out about she has to be back by midnight. And she's got that tattoo on her rather ample rear. She's pretty unaware, I think, of all the shenanigans that her brothers and Mock get up to. She's also kind of confined in this place, but she has a way out, which of course gives Angel the chance to find a way out too. They're going to go clubbing through the ducts. They get out through the ducts, but Angel, I don't know how she can get through that duct. Angel happens to, at one point, they're traveling over Mock's room and she overhears all this. I missed capturing just the right shot here. Cinderella slides down this and her ass bulges out the sides of the shaft, and he's like this. And I'm sorry, I missed capturing that when I did these stills. It's quite an amusing moment. Yeah, we didn't get it. Sorry about that. But she hears all these plans of Mock. So Mock she now knows that he needs her to unlock this demon by using her voice, etc., etc. She's clued into what's going on now. Before, she just thought he was just a rich rock star trying to get her in other ways, you know. There we go. Show. Let me start that again. There we go. So Mock's busy getting his idea together for a show, getting the key, the Armageddon key sorted out, the notes that it's going to take to trigger it, to unlock the portal from the other dimension, to bring the demon in. It's definitely not going to increase his record sales, but it's quite fluid. Some fluid animation in this, like it. I do like the representation of the AI as well, the computer. Mock looks great. He's actually got, it's interesting, he has vampire teeth. There's no suggestion he actually uses them to drink blood, but they don't show him eating, so you never know. Yeah, there's a statement about the old stealing the future of the young in this movie too. There are probably things in there. Is he stealing the voice in order to make Mock and Mole? Yeah, Mock and Mole. That would work if she was a mole. Yeah, for sure. I love this. Look at this. Oh, great animation. Yeah, so the computer. I love he's got computerized legal, financial, whatever, and they're all telling him, "No, you shouldn't do this, shouldn't do that." Shut up. Angel heard him say, because he asked the computer what can stop the demon, and the demon talks about one heart, one voice, one heart, one song, and that no one can stop the demon or send it back. So he thinks that means, well, no one. He took it literally, no one. As we find out later, that no one can send it back. Doesn't mean it can't be sent back. So one voice, one heart, one song, one vision. So savvy viewers like yourselves will realize that there's a play on the words no one, and Mock is fooled by that. He's now thinks nothing can stop this plan. So Aunt Edith, who's Dizzy's aunt, bails them out of the police station that we're in New York. She runs a tattoo parlor. She tells them how they might find Cinderella, who's connected to the Schleppers brothers and Mock, and how to identify her because she's got this winged heart tattoo in her ass. Because Mock has now set up a gig, which is Beauty and the Beast. Him and Angel. It's a gig at Carnegie Hall. I love the poster, though. It says Carnage Hall. And the poster says, the show to end all shows. So he's got this set up. There's the winged heart. It's $14.95 for that. I would have thought the size that they had to be on Cinderella's ass would make it double that. So, commas matter, folks. That's right. He was just trying to get Queen for this soundtrack. Yeah, that's why I thought One Vision. Yeah. Commas matter, folks. They do. Eats, shoots, and leaves. Thank you all for being here. I hope you're enjoying the show. Once Courtney dumped me, it's me back to just being me and my own again. Me, myself, and I. But often I do a solo show on a Monday. Can the voice handle it? Can my voice handle it? But I do love this animation. It's very Escape from New York. You can see it now. Club 666. Obviously, Club 52 or whatever it was the what they were spoofing. It's the happening event in town. Mutants are getting killed in the lobby, so that makes our... I don't know if that's got any kind of comment about Club 54 and what really happened there. The mutants are getting annihilated in the lobby. And it's an anti-gravity club. This is where some of the slightly more adult material comes in, although there's no nudity like heavy metal. It does feature characters who look very much like feminine at the back, but surprise you when you look at them in the front. And there's a lot of TNA and a lot of stuff going on. And they have a couple of pieces of music here. One is Earth, Wind and Fire, a song specially done for the show called Dance, Dance, Dance for the movie, which unfortunately I don't have a clip of. That was so there's a little bit more of them, slightly more adult material in this section. And then there's another track, Hot Dogs and Sushi, is played here, I think, which is Melanie Brown. Dance style music. So Dizzy there has found the tattoo by embedding his snout in Cinderella's ass. So they know Angel is there because that's who they're looking for. But the schleppers, this is Angel's. Cinderella likes to dance. So the club scenes are also pretty well drawn, I think. It's pretty groovy stuff. So reporting back to Omar that they've seen Angel. So Mock becomes aware of where they are. And rather than intervening directly, I mean, the Schleppers do take Cinderella and Angel out of the club. And back to Mock's place, rather than intervening directly, Mock arranges to lead Omar after what he thinks is Angel. Thinks he's following Angel. He decides to use a bit of subterfuge, leads them out of the club to this disused warehouse where he's got someone pretending to be Angel with a mask on. She's all over Mock. So Omar's like, well, F you. You know, he thinks she's really into Mock. He thinks it's Angel. He's fooled by the whole thing. He's tricked by it. He buys the show. He buys it. Nobody claimed Omar was the smartest tool in the box. No, Zero G Double D's, Vince. I'm afraid there wasn't. Studio 54. Yeah, that's the one. D. Dude, bro. So that's Omar. He's trying to just put Omar off the scent rather than, again, getting too heavy-handed at this point. He just wants them out of the way so he can go and do this show with Angel. But in order to get Angel's final compliance, he captures the boys. He does capture the boys. He puts them in this large ball. It's a big Edison ball, I guess. Starts torturing them. And basically tells Angel, if you don't do this show with me and the song that I want, I'm going to torture and kill your guys here. I'll let them go if you agree. Otherwise not. So there's another nice panel there. So he does this thing. It's quite funny. Turns them into TNA team at Studio 69. So he turns them into airheads. Literally, they call them airheads when they're talking. You've made them airheads. So they're dude bros. Oh, dude bro. You're not an airhead, dude bro. They're all like, and he sends them packing back to Hometown. And they're like totally, hey, man, you know, quite funny, they're airheads. So they're out of the way, headed back to Hometown. Angel is now stuck with Mock. She's going to do the show. She does make an attempt to yeah, there is Mock at Carnage Hall. I love that instead of Carnegie Hall. Such a good line. So the show, there is a problem with the show though, because oh, hang on, Courtney is back. Hello, Courtney. I can see you, but I can't hear you. Oh, I can hear that. Say something. Say hello. Can you hear me? I don't know if Courtney can hear me. I can hear your microphone. Speak to me. Okay, it's off again. It was on, but now it's off again. You'll need to figure it out with your audio because while Courtney's doing that, so what happens is they try to put the show on, and there's not enough power in New York. So basically, the demon tries to. Hey, I can still hear your mic now. So the demon tries to materialize. Doesn't work. So it blows. It blows Carnegie Hall up, and basically a lot of New York with it. They need more power in order for the demon to fully materialize. Bad karma were the reviews of the show on TV. There, it was bad karma. They need more power, but where has got more power? Hometown has more power. So they head to Hometown. The band are still there at the talent show place. Still pretty dumb.
Can you hear me now?
Oh, I can hear you now.
No.
I can hear you. Yes, I can hear you.
Turn it.
So this is the great. I mean, this is a brilliant song. This is the "My Name Is Mock" scene. So let's play a bit.
My name is Mark, and it's a bar. Hey, girls.
Hey, Mark, thanks a lot. You think you're acting, but you're not.
Musician, priest, why? I'm the greatest thing since World War III, girls.
You think he's acting?
So just a little taste of Lou Reed's "My Name
Can
Is
you hear
Mock."
me?
Yes, yes.
No? Oh, okay.
We can hear you. Can you hear us? Can you hear us? So I do love that sequence. That whole "My Name Is Mock" song is absolutely killer. It's a real slab of noise. Brilliantly animated as well. And I love the girls. Sing it, girls. Tell me, girls. My name is Mark. Thanks a lot. There she goes again. Yeah, that's possibly certainly one of the highlights of the movie, the whole My Name is Mock sequence. Absolutely brilliant. Wish I could play the whole thing. I love this spiraling down sequence at the end. Brilliant. Right, we got you back. Can you hear us?
I can hear you. Can you
and
hear
I
me?
can hear you. You're back.
Yay.
I'm just going to play that last clip for you again because you probably missed it. There's Lou Reed doing My Name is Mock.
My name is Mark, thanks a lot. Pretty girl.
Name is Mark. Thanks a lot. You think you're acting, but you're not.
Musician, priest, why, I'm the greatest thing since World War III, girls.
You think you're acting.
Great.
Is that Debbie Harry in the background?
No, that's all Lou Reed and his musicians. My name is
Girl
Mock.
singing sounded like Debbie Harry.
I don't think it was her. No, I'm sorry. I wish it was. It wasn't that much of a crossover, but that's one of the key songs in there. My Name is Mock, the Lou Reed one. And he wrote it all for that character and improvised a lot of the lyrics. It turned out great. I love the girls. Sing it, girls, whatever.
Yeah, that's what I thought. It sounded like Debbie Harry's voice, like dubbed over or something. Girls. But,
no, I wish it was.
It was wishful thinking, probably.
It was. Yeah. So at this point, they're starting to. He's got the show set up that he wants to do with Angel, but meanwhile, Zip Schlepper is watching this cartoon Uncle Eddie.
What a name.
Uncle Eddie. And it's basically whatever's in that cartoon, and I watched it a few times, but I didn't write it down. He starts to question his allegiance to Mock. Because him and his brothers are tied, but he said, is there good and evil? Uncle Eddie says that there's good and there's good people and bad. This cartoon he's watching starts to make him question his allegiance to the bad guy, which comes in important later. Are we the bad guys, Hans? That kind of thing. So, yeah, I know Debbie Harry's Angel singing voice. Yeah, I know that, Tim. Yes, I know Debbie Harry. We talked about that earlier. So she's making one last attempt to stop. He's dressed like some kind of, saint now. She tries to persuade Mock that they should just run off together and not bother with the show because she knows he's trying to unleash this demon. So she gives him one last. She tries to fool him by pretending she's into him. Doesn't buy it, and then he goes kind of nuts. He runs amok. Mock runs amok. He's not buying her attempt to talk him out of it, but luckily, she does know what he's up to. And one of his henchmen is now a bit, maybe we're the bad guys, Because the Seppers are dumb, but they're not necessarily evil. That's what he's questioning himself. I love this, he's got all these masks or whatever. He's running around his mansion doing things, smashing stuff up and going nuts. But anyway, the gig arrives, or is arriving, the big gig where he's going to unleash the demon. And Omar daycares. This is the boys. The boys are still airheads, and they're singing this Cheap Trick song called Om Sweet Om, because they're in Om Town. Excuse me. Still dumb. They're still. It's quite funny. I didn't clip that one, but well, that's playing out. We're getting towards the climax of the movie. We've had another buck from Tim. Thanks, buddy. You really are too good to me, man. Honestly, really, really appreciate it, mate. Thank you very, very much. That means we're going to play another video. What we'll do is play another clip from earlier from this actual movie. Let's play the Cheap Trick I'm the Man sequence. Love it. Love that sequence. I wish I could play it all. I had to chop bits of it up and jam them together. Love that stuff.
That.
We've got Risey's Dive Bar. Risey's
Hi,
Dive Bar.
Risey.
Hey, Risey. Yeah, so as I say, the movie's reaching the climax. Everyone's in position. We're getting into position for the show. I love this. He's got this kind of like insect-like flat-shaped flying thing, and this is his. I guess it's supposed to be his organ. He's playing with his organ at the show, and he's got poor Angel hooked up to Ohmtown's power supply, captured because he needs Ohmtown's power to unleash him, and he's going to make her sing. And they've got this invocation song thing that they sing, where she has to sing certain notes. That's Debbie Harry, and it seems to be working. This is fantastic animation again. The pentagram forms. They're going to open the portal. The demon's going to come out. And things are going to look bad. Well, he was actually singing the Iggy Pop song, Pain and Suffering is coming up, I think.
Nice.
Look at this. The power's overloading. And he drains all the power out of Ohmtown, which causes some kind of event down there, and it wakes the band up from their airhead stupor. They're still sitting in this club like this, and they go, "Shit, we got to do something to save Angel." It's Mock at the old yeah. So they are finally woken up from their stupefied state, and they're going to head up to Mock's place and see if they can rescue Angel. Omar's now less of a dickhead. He's coming around the fact he's going to do something and save her. They once again steal the cop's car. Car gets... But meanwhile, poor Angel's tied to this thing as it's materializing the portal. The demon's about to come out.
Hi, Katie.
It's a great ending to this movie. Fantastic ending. Hey, Katie. Mock is in full evil mode, and this is, I think, the pain and suffering part. So we're going to play a little clip of that.
And suffering. Red wine. Blood.
It's superb, man. So that's Iggy Pop's Pain and Suffering, which is Mock singing. It's supposed to be, and he's part of his performance to summon the demon. And they have all this great animation coming at you. It's a wonderful sequence. You only get part of the song, but you can get the whole song elsewhere, but it's only part of it in the movie. But it was written for this as well. It was written especially for it. Pain and suffering, because that's what he wants to inflict on the world.
And B-roll in the chat says, greatest side boob ever drawn.
Oh, yeah. Angel, greatest side boob. It's not as adult as heavy metal because that's got nudity, but it does try to do a little bit of that stuff. But the side boob is good. Yeah. So
He's wearing roller skates. That's amazing.
He is. Well, the henchmen or the schleppers are roller skaters. So here's the demon. It's summoned. It's worked. The invocation has worked. The demon has appeared. It's going to devour the earth, whatever. It's going to destroy this astral plane, this plane. And Mock's like, yeah, we're in here. because he's an idiot. So Omar is here to save Angel, but Omar is, I can't remember if he's threatened by the demon. I don't know if Omar is in trouble. He's going to get killed. Zip, that we saw earlier, the henchman Zip, saves his life. He realizes he's been on the wrong side working with Mock, saves Omar's life at the cost of his own life. So great moment in the movie where he sacrifices himself to save Omar, which then opens up the opportunity for the demon to be destroyed, because what has to happen is that Omar and Angel have to sing together. No one voice can defeat the demon. It has to be two. So this is where I love that. I do love that Mock's craft there. It's just so yeah, give her a bit of the side boob. That'll wake. Give him the side boob. That'll wake him up. More side boob. Right. More side boob. So they're teaming up. They're going to team up to sing, and that's where you get the duet now, Send Love Through, which is Angel's song but reworked. And the two of them are going to sing it. So you got Debbie Harry and Robin Zander duetting. See, nice. Angel was keeping that under wraps for a long time. She's got quite the body on her. They're facing down the demon. So let's. This is fantastic. I do love the demon animation. Not enough to blow that thing right over.
I was going to say, they're very close.
Not enough to blow that right over. Low Spec Linux Gaming is saying hi to Courtney from the Rumble side.
Hi. Hello over there.
Yeah. So let's play my last little clip, which is of as the demon is rampaging and getting thrown back into the portal. Let's play a clip of the last song. I could only play a little for copyright reasons, but that's Send Love Through, which they duet on. It's another killer track, and it works. Those voices together are enough to combat the demon, defeat Mock.
Music saves everything,
Indeed.
right?
Yes, I think at this point Mock has become Bono and he needs to be destroyed.
Bono sucks.
B-roll says they actually put meat on an animation table to get the demon textures. That is incredible info, because it is a really great demon. And the sense of scale in this animation is brilliant. As Mock gets thrown down into the portal, and you really do get a sense of scale and depth. It just looks great. It's a thrilling, exciting ending. And then the two of them continue to sing, and then Mock's tower turns into light and starts sending light out and lights up the previously dark dystopian town of Hometown. Light up the world. The power of rock.
The power of music compels you.
Power of music compels you. The power of mock and roll. And there it was. It's a brilliant ending. I didn't do it. Running through these slides, I can never do it justice. You have to watch it to do it justice. It's a wonderful, wonderful movie with some great songs. I'd love to sit and just play the songs. Could do that over in Rumble, but can't do it here. But $8 million, and that is a lot of money for an animation that era, and it looks brilliant. Songs are brilliant. Great voice acting. Everything about it's fantastic. Massive flop at the time, unfortunately. I don't know if anybody knew how to market or what to do with it. But I think it's it resurfaces. People were talking about it, which is why I wanted to take another look at it. I think it's got a great cult following. I don't think it would take much to kind of push that up a little bit if there was a really good physical release of it. With
I never even heard of it, which is surprising.
It never got promoted. It had all the problems with MGM interfering with the version of it. It had the original cut print burnt, so you could only get VHS copies of it from TV. All sorts of issues, rights expiring, people buying rights, DVDs and Blu-rays out of print. Just because there was no money in it, I guess. But then the songs didn't appear till later. The Cheap Trick took a few years to get them out. Iggy Pop.
So did it ever come out on?
Well, I think there was eventually a CD released with most of the tracks on it. Yeah, but it took a long time to get to that point. There was no soundtrack at the time, no official release. Iggy put. I'm going to hide that on the stream. Iggy Pop put so Cheap Trick put theirs on this Sex America Cheap Trick box set, 4 CD box set. They put the 3 tracks they did on this. Debbie Harry reworked Angel's Song and put it on an album with a different title years later. Iggy Pop put his on the bonus tracks on some album. I'm not sure about the Lou Reed ones. It was very difficult to get them. The Earth, Wind and Fire one was never released, whatever. So it never got the treatment it deserved. I mean, it should have been a very popular soundtrack because of the tracks in it. But
yeah, you would think.
But the movie itself, it gets the respect now it deserves. It just doesn't have the widespread coverage it deserves. Like, people don't know about it. I'd forgotten all about it. So, but yeah, great musical sequences. Love it. Love the movie. It has elements. It's not the same people, but it does have some elements in common with heavy metal in terms of style in some of the parts. I don't know what the people in the chat that know animation better would know what it influenced. I mean, I tried looking up some references. What may it have influenced after, other than the other Nelvana products, which were mainly for children, though. So they didn't have as much of the adult stuff like Demons and Side Boob.
I don't know. I don't know if it's the same person, because I don't know a lot about anime, but that MTV, they had that like Aeon Flux or something. Aeon
Flux is something that people have mentioned was influenced by this.
Okay, I was going to say, I can see similarities, but I don't know.
Well, there's dystopian stuff in it as well. Other people have mentioned some stuff that would be on things like Adult Swim, maybe in Futurama, Rick and Morty, Venture Brothers. Real animation fanatics would know. But I think this is such a good animation. Even without the music, it would be great. But when you add the music in, it's a great rock and roll movie. Because the rock music is part of the plot. It's not just a soundtrack tacked on to play in the background. So it's integral to the plot. So I love it. I'm very, very happy that it was mentioned again to me and I rediscovered it. One thing I forgot to mention is that if you watched it, and I didn't see any myself there, but all through the movie, there's areas where you see the skeletons of humans in the background, because they were the ones that humans were wiped out. So there's bits of skeleton in some of the settings to show the humans, because this is all anthropomorphic animals, not humans. They've taken over.
Say that word one more time.
I'm just kidding. Anthropomorphic. I'm an anthropomorphic aficionado. 2 words I always have trouble with.
B-roll says Aeon Flux is by Peter Chung, who went on to do that Rugrats eyesore. He did Rugrats?
I didn't know
that did that. That's interesting.
And I don't know. I'm not an animation expert. I'm not an expert in anything. I just know what I like. So I like this movie and I like the music in it, and I like the animation. And I can't say that about all animation.
I can't either. Yeah, but I thought that this looks cool. The
stuff I look at and I go, yeah, why do people like that? this is a cool rock movie, which is why I wanted to talk about it. So there it was, Rock and Rule. Thank you, Courtney, for joining me. I'm gonna have to share the tracks. Well, you can find the tracks on YouTube on this, but if you've not heard the Lou Reed stuff, the Iggy Pop song and the Cheap Trick songs and the Debbie Harry stuff, it's all up there.
Definitely.
Yeah, they're all up there. And I've got
Mark
copies of them.
hasn't seen it either, he says in the chat.
Hey, Mark, I wish you had been here with us. D-Bud's using the emojis. All these members in the chat need to start using the emojis.
I'm a member now.
You are.
Emojis.
Click on my emojis. I can see I'm going to click them all now.
Got them. Getting emojis. We're going.
There you go. There's a ton of them. There's a ton of them. So yeah, it's a great Mark. You'd love this. And Tull are still Jethro Tull still not in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, as are Iron Maiden are still not there. But Mark, you would love this movie, and you would probably have something to say about the animation. Mark has probably also got the original comic, the Nelvana of the North, the character that's inspired the name of the company. Mark's got everything. It's a banging soundtrack. Yeah, you can see it all online. You get it.
I'm sure I can find it on Spotify, the songs or something like that.
Yeah, well, look them up. It's yeah, I can tell you the titles after if you want, but if I'll throw up. Let me just throw up on the screen before we wrap it up. This is the. I've got to share my screen again.
And Davina is saying, there was a live action Aeon Flux with Charlize Theron.
There was, yeah. I've got a copy of that.
Ooh.
It wasn't bad, actually. I quite enjoyed that movie. I know probably it's heresy to some people. I thought it was quite good. So this is the CD. So this is the tracks on it. So you got Cheap Trick, Born to Raise Hell, Debbie Harry, Angel Song, Lou Reed, Triumph, Cheap Trick, I'm the Man, Earth, Wind and Fire, Dance, Dance, Dance. Melanie Brown, who's in the movie, she's a voice actress and also the wife of the lead animator. She did the hot dogs and sushi sequence in the club. Cheap Trick, Om Sweet Om. Debbie Harry, Invocation Song, which was really just music with her singing the notes to Got the Demon. Then Lou Reed's Killer, My Name is Mock, which is a brilliant track. Iggy Pop's Pain and Suffering. Then the finale with Debbie and Robin, Send Love Through. Cheap Trick are playing on that, as is Clem Burke.
What is it say under bonus tracks?
Bonus notches. So Debbie Harry re-recorded Angel's Song as Maybe For Sure and put it on an album of hers. So some of that's the tracks. And it's great because there's not like 20 tracks and you just get snippets of them. Most of these are integral to the plot. Love that.
That's my dog snoring, if you hear him, by the way.
I thought it was you. So anywho, I got supper's coming. Supper time is coming. I would like to thank everybody. We got some new members today, so mainly gifted quite a few memberships as well. So we're gonna do a member stream soon. I'm thinking of Friday afternoon or Sunday afternoon. And I would like to, whilst the stream will be for everybody, I'd like to get the high rollers, some of them to come on and chat. I'll probably do some kind of giveaway. What I'd like to do is one of these spin the wheel things with all the member names in it and give the winner one of these shirts, Canon Film Club shirt.
That's cool.
And maybe some stickers and stuff. So there will be some kind of member stream soon. It's happening. It's happening. But thank you. Thanks to everybody who super chatted today. I appreciate that very much. Thank you to Davina and D-Bud for modding on the YouTube side. Thank you to Vince for doing the same on the Rumble side. Really appreciate you guys. Thank you to everybody who chatted. Small, you're all small, but very beautifully put together.
The chat is always great.
They
crack me up.
You know,
comment about a non-gay rainbow. That you missed that. I was dying laughing.
We may not have the biggest crowd on YouTube, but we have the best crowd on YouTube in this show, and I appreciate you all very much. So thank you for all your help with the show, promoting stuff, clicking like, chatting, all that good stuff. We continue to creep up there in subs. Before I say what I'm going to be doing soon, Courtney, have you got anything coming up?
The normal stuff that I do Sunday with Mark D with a C. He's in the chat, Sunday Night Geekery, and I'm trying to show up here more. I've been busy in real life, but I'm thinking of doing a birthday stream. My birthday's in 2 weeks, and that might kick me off on my channel a little bit to get some things going, because I have some good ideas that I've just been put off to the side for now. Or maybe I'll just do a random live stream.
Well, hopefully I'll be available to join your birthday stream then.
If I do, well, I don't know. My birthday's May 15th. 515. That's what I sing to like any boy I'm ever dating. 515, so they never forget. And I do it over and over. Really
I might be available. Who knows? So I think.
I hope you are. I think Matthew Marsden, if you know who he is.
I know Matthew. Yeah.
Yeah, he said that he would maybe be available. And
streamed with Matthew once. Yeah.
Yeah, Matthew's really cool.
So I'd like to join that if it happens.
Yeah, if I can get it together. You would definitely be invited. Polly will definitely be invited. Mark, all my
cool.
besties. So.
Well, we'll look forward to that, and I hope you can make it to next week too. I think so I'm going to plan a member stream. I think next week what I'll do in this time slot is I've been doing gaming streams every second week. I don't think I'll do that next week. I've actually got a huge pile. I have huge piles of physical media that I've picked up recently. I think I could qualify that statement about huge piles. So I might do that next week. I might do here's a bunch of physical media show instead of doing that as a separate live stream. And here's some stuff here's some stuff I'm into right now.
I'm gonna have to hit up the thrift stores this week then.
Yeah, so you could do the same, and you could talk about stuff you're into right now, and so could other panelists. So just a general, let's hang out, have some fun, show some stuff off, talk about things we're watching or listening to. And just do a general chat with, and the chat can tell us what they're doing too. So that would be nice. And it's easy for me. I don't have to plan anything. I just turn up. Great. So that's next Monday. Later on tonight, I'll be on Comics Division Monday Night Meltdown whilst I'll have one eye on that screen over there where the Dallas Stars are probably going to get their ass kicked yet again by the Avalanche.
I'm rooting for the Avs, obviously, now, because I mean, the Flyers are just.
Hang on, I just got to hide you on the stream.
I live in Colorado. If I didn't root for them, people would be like, I mean.
So that'll be tonight. Tuesday night, obviously, I'm always on Toxic Tuesday with Nick Visor.
You're doing Young Guns.
And we're doing Young Guns tomorrow night. Because if it was me, it'd be Old Guns, but that's. Thursday night, probably Midnight Edge After Dark and Comics Division. Friday, I'm always on Ascendant Art Channel with Rama, Little Chad, Slender Dad, Imperitus, and Mad Martigan. We always have some fun there. And then sometimes later on, Stone Loki, if he's still running. And Loki's Mornings of Mischief. And then Saturday night, Bourbon and Boarding. And then the cycle of life continues. It just goes round and round and round. So that's that. And I'll be doing some other stuff too. I am, believe it or not, working on some videos. They seem to take forever now.
I don't even know how to. I'm working on I finally got my PlayStation 5 up and running, and I don't even know what I'm doing. So
I'm still playing
Baldur's Gate 3. Trying to get into some gaming with some of you guys, with Mark D with the C.
I'm still playing Baldur's Gate 3, but that's a solo experience for me. So you need to find, like, Mark might play something multiplayer with you.
I think that I should stream Tetris. Because that's the game I like.
I'd like to play Tetris, except everything goes upwards instead of comes down. I think that. So, well, thanks for joining, Les. Thank you to everybody for being here.
Of course.
I was going to say something else, but I'm old and I can't remember now.
I'm going to be there. I'm getting there.
So
I'm going to be 3 years from the big 30, we'll say.
Yeah, you're going to be 27 again. Yes. I'm showing my piles off to the internet. That's good. Huge piles, the best piles. I got some great stuff.
Oh, I can't wait. You always get good stuff. Still waiting for you to find that Teenage Head, the first album.
I'm looking. I'm looking. I don't want to pay a fortune for it, though, but I'm still looking.
No, I found it for $1 back in the day at like a store in Rhode Island. It was totally random. It wasn't. I mean, the vinyl was in great shape. The cover wasn't, but I didn't care. But it was $1. I've never seen it again.
Yeah, well, hopefully everybody gets a chance, if you've not seen Rock and Roll, to find a copy and watch it, because it is a great movie. I'm sure we'll mention it again at some point. As Tim suggested, we'll probably do heavy metal. I know we did it on Toxic Tuesday once, but we could certainly talk about that again. It's the other great Canadian animated rock movie of that era. So anyway, everybody remember to rock and roll. Rock and roll is here to slay, as they said in the movie. So till next.
As when you say specs, drugs, and rock and roll. Were you the one who said that? Specs, drugs.
I think I might have. Yeah.
Yeah. Eyeglasses, meds, rock and roll. That's what happens.
Exactly. Yes. So until next time, everybody, stay well. Thank you very much for joining, and keep on rocking, I think, is the advice. So cheers, everybody. See you soon.